Welcome back, tribe. Americans are feeling a civil war coming, apparently. Let's see.
Things are about to get considerably worse in America.
This is it, guys. This is the tipping point.
We are walking our way right into a state versus federal conflict.
We are at the start of the American Civil War.
This is what it's going to take. It's literally going to be a group of people using their First Amendment right.
With all of the political divide about their
Bro, I'm just done. I just want to know when we light the torches and get the pitchforks, because
your countrymen will do nothing. There's too much slop, too much entertainment, a lot of bread, a lot of circuses. Everyone's distracted. This is the same shit that happened when they posted the black squares or for Harambe or the Ukrainian flag or whatever it is that they're doing. It's the next flavor of the month, virtue signal that we're all in support of this. You know, the BLM fist thing, it's all garbage. Nothing changes. Every day, normal, hardworking Americans, no matter what color you are, it doesn't matter. Nothing changes for you. The rich keep getting richer. They insider trade. They make millions of dollars. You know, you could be worth $30,000 or in the hole, negative, like Elon Omar, and then you're worth like $20 million in a couple of years after. This is what it is. It's the haves versus have-nots. And they're playing the game absolutely perfectly. They defunded public schooling. They've made it all an indoctrination. This is the first generation, I think it's Gen Alpha, that has a lower IQ than the generation preceding them. How crazy is that?
we just need to burn this down and start the over. So, you with me?
It's time to leave the country. 100%. It's time to leave. That rhetoric on Greenland and everything else and Gestapo in the streets, it's time to leave.
You will do nothing.
Because it's either going to be fighting in the streets, a world war, or just straight up authoritarian regime and everybody just doesn't care, or they're too apathetic to care.
These people live on the internet too much, watch too much CNN and MSNBC. Absolutely nothing will happen. It's only illegals getting arrested, a few American citizens on accident here and there. They'll get released, no problem. It happens, slips through the crack. If you're trying to send home millions of people, there are going to be some people that get arrested that shouldn't have. But in general, this is what it takes. Securing borders, sending home criminals. It is what it is. As far as that whole living overseas thing, as someone who did live overseas for 2 years, I can tell you right now that life overseas is not better. It's different. If a world war were to start, me here in Phoenix, I have no problem. There's not going to be a bomb going off randomly in my neighborhood in Phoenix. Nothing's going to happen to me. If you're somewhere in Eastern Europe, if you're somewhere in like Thailand or Cambodia, or somewhere else in India or in China or Taiwan or something like, there's a bunch of flashpoints, Middle East, everywhere. Nowhere is actually safe. If you have a real world war, continental United States is about the safest place you could be in the entire world from anything possibly happening to you. Everywhere else could be ground zero. Do you see how many things have started off? Pakistan and India had a little squabble. Thailand and who was it? Had a little squabble. Can't remember who. Venezuela and Guyana, I think it was. Not Guyana. Who was it? I can't even remember. Some small nation state over there with a ton of oil. They were fixing to invade them until the United States stopped. There's shit that's just popping off all over the world at all time. Africa's a mess. The Middle East is a powder keg. Again, that's ready to explode. I already did a couple times. This whole notion that you're going to go overseas and be safe, it's a complete joke. And where is this liberal going to go? Western Europe, where he's probably going to get stabbed to death, pickpocketed, raped, or something like that by some migrants because of open borders in Western Europe. Those countries are now unrecognizable. He's not going to be welcomed with open arms. Your cafe culture, your nice, beautiful, posh European streets with incredible ancient architecture, that shit is gone. It's trash heap, dumps, and migrants everywhere. Don't believe me? Go to France. Check out Paris. You'll probably get pickpocketed just trying to see the Eiffel Tower.
And I'm not like that. I'm getting my kids the out of here, and I suggest you all do the same. Give your kids a better life. Get them out of.
And then this is crazy that he mentions that, because people ask me all the time, like, why would you ever come back? When you have a wife or a woman in general, and you're thinking about family planning, let's say, which was something I never thought about. I went overseas anyways temporarily to relocate my parents and have them retire young. That was a major thing off my checklist, and managed to do it. So it made sense for us to go back to the country that they came from and facilitate that early. I wanted to retire my dad as early as I possibly could. You know, good son, check, done, did it. Felt great. Came back. Now, when you have a woman and you start to think about family planning and the future of your children, nowhere else in the world is a better place than the United States. Where do you think, if you have a gifted child, for example, where are the elite universities? Just saying, for engineering, for AI, for cutting edge research, all the United States mostly, and some places in Europe. Okay, so your kid will most likely end up going to the United States. Where are the highest salaries for these cutting edge jobs? The United States. Even the top tier researchers, developers, engineers, scientists, whatever, they all come to the United States, even those from Europe. So if your child's in Europe, where this guy's most likely going to end up going, your kids are going to still have to come to the United States. Okay. Next. So the highest paying jobs are in America. The best schools are in America. Now let's talk about money making in general. Where can you start a business the easiest? Where can you make the most amount of money with the largest market, with the most spending power? The United States. If you try to start a business in Europe, you're going to have to start a business in that individual country with its individual laws and regulations and labor policies and language. And then in order to expand within the EU itself, you have to then, let's say if you go to another country like Germany, after starting your business in France, you're going to have to do everything all over again with a German labor, German laws, German language, German everything. It is a piece of shit version of the United States that's hardly hobbled together. It's not a real federated system. It's not all for one. It's just a loose set of regulations that hardly work together. It's like a patchwork of what the United States actually is. And it fails to do it in an efficient manner. That's what the EU represents. Now, where else is this guy going to go, this Libby? Is he going to go to like Saudi Arabia, right? And he's going to talk about LGBTQ rights? I don't think so. So these people are out of control. When you talk about the future of your children, it changes the calculations dramatically. I would not raise any children anywhere else other than the United States, because if you want to make use of their absolute maximal potential, it has to be here. It just does. They will end up here anyways if they're gifted, because this is where all the opportunities are. Now, you do have to think about, for example, safety is an issue, public shootings in schools. But we already know if you have money or just time, you're homeschooling your kids today. And in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, imagine you have a kid and they're a baby right now. By the time they're ready to go to school, you will have AI teachers at home assisting you to teach your kid advanced curricula that you obviously couldn't teach at all, way beyond you. But that AI system will be developed. Like schooling is going to change dramatically. And then college will just become like a kind of like a social thing where you go to be amongst adults and figure out how to socialize and be, exposed to new experiences as a young adult. That's about it. You won't need college for much anymore in the future. I have a feeling that the cost of education is going to absolutely plummet down to near zero. So you're going to have a little optimist at home watching your kid, training your kid, teaching your kid one-on-one, seeing their strengths, shoring up all their weaknesses and preparing them to go to actual whatever's left of higher education, what the colleges end up transforming into. So
this country.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you guys what's coming, okay? Because I think we need to be very clear-eyed about what's coming, and it's very obvious. On the second day of this year, I posted a video, and I said that I very strongly feel like 2026 is giving resolution, but through a lot of struggle and strife and very negative stuff. But that it's necessary to get to where we need to be. Well, we're not even that many days into this year, and I am already being proven right. Here's what's coming, folks, okay? Be prepared. We are walking our way right into a state versus federal conflict with us citizens in the middle. And I guess divided on those lines. That's what we're headed towards. And there will be clashes, we'll call them, okay? And there are going to be American citizens who are not going to comply. You weirdos that always said you wouldn't let the government tread on you are very happy, apparently, to let the government tread on you. So you're going to, I guess. But there are going to be people who will not allow that to happen to themselves or to their neighbors, and they will fight back. And apparently, the state's National Guard of blue states are going to be there to protect their citizens.
No one gives a fuck. Shoot everybody who impedes ICE. I don't care. Jail them or shoot them. Another dude just got shot. He actually was being restrained by it looked like 7, 8 guys. He was on the ground. They were in a tussle and something happened where he pulled out a weapon. I think he actually got a shot off and then they shot his ass. Good riddance. Shoot every one of these people. Every one. Honestly, I don't care. You impede investigate. You ram your car into human beings that are just doing their jobs. You try to essentially stick up for illegal immigrants, murderers, rapists, other kinds of criminals. Get shot. It used to be that you even putting your hands in your pocket. You guys remember that? If you were dealing with a police officer, you put your hands in a pocket and that dude's jumpy, he'll pump you full of lead. And we all knew, like, hey, don't be an idiot. Don't put your hands in your pocket. Act like you're pulling something out. Say, hey, my wallet is in my pocket. May I grab it? You have to deal with the police. Remember, as a man, we all know this. Hello, officer. Yes, there's a weapon in the car. I have my hands up. I'm not a threat. My wallet is in the glove compartment. I would need to reach over and grab it. Is that okay? I'm going to have my hand up, slowly reach over. You have to make them feel secure. And even then, don't, when you're rummaging around for shit, he's got his hand on the holster right there and he's just ready for some idiot to try something, because there's plenty of videos you've seen of people that actually shoot at cops once they're stopped or try to run away or try to, injure them in any way that you could imagine. The videos are there. Why aren't ICE doing this? Because it's what? White liberal Karens mostly, or just liberals in general in these blue cities. These are federal officers. This supersedes all this bullshit. If you are in the middle of a federal investigation, a federal operation, and some grandma Karen is impeding you, arrest her ass. If she's trying got a weapon in her hands, whatever, pump them full of lead. I don't care. This might be a hot take to a lot of people. There's people messaging me like, bro, you're a bootlicker. You're for the federal government. I'm for law and order at all means, at all costs. I don't care if it's your grandma out there with a picket trying to bash them over the head. Like, get out of here. They're just people trying to work. Pump her ass full of lead. I don't think you people realize I'm not a conservative and I'm not a liberal. I'm not alt-right, far-right, any of that. I'm just for law and order and common sense. You are not allowed to disrespect the federal government. If we're all talking about we want to have a system which people respect our institutions, the institutions themselves have to actually be respected and effective. And effective means pumping holes in that try to stop you and impede investigations, especially when we're arresting fraudsters, criminals, rapists, murderers. Are you kidding me? And all these people are bought and paid for. These are fake protesters half the time. They're literally paid opposition, paid protesters. It's not even real. They're funded by some weird NGOs overseas that just want to see America get destroyed, the Soros network and all that other stuff. And whatever it is, I don't go deep into this shit. I don't care. We want to go open our doors, allow our kids to roam free without worry of danger, go outside, not see homeless people injecting themselves, fentanyl zombies, keeled over, doing that weird zombie groove. We want to be able to see clean streets. We don't want to see degradation and destruction and the demise of our society. And we need to institute law and order to make that happen. That's what the people are asking for. We want to walk outside and feel safe. I don't want to wonder if the guy next to me on the bus stop is out on 20 arrests and is just one move away from slipping and stabbing somebody on the bus. No thanks, bro. We're not a serious country. Until we get serious, we're not a serious country. I'm not a bootlicker. I'm not any of this. I support a strong government that upholds the law. That's simple. And if it was far-right nationalists protesting and trying to hurt minorities, I guarantee you, if I had this same stance, the liberals would call me a progressive activist, a man for the people, protecting those who need protection. It's the same shit. Don't break the law. I don't care what side you're on. Don't break the law. You broke the law, you do the time. And if you threaten other people's lives, especially federal law enforcement, while they're trying to remove these scumbags, then you can get pumped full of holes. End of story. I don't value human life like that. Don't care. It's already hard enough out here for an average person to be able to enjoy something like going out to a park without getting harassed by druggies, by homeless people, by gangs, by all these degenerates, by immigrants that are illegal, don't deserve to be here and are doing bad shit. What happened to our parks being filled with kids, laughter of children, safety, little dogs running around, families? All that shit is gone. The people are starting to try to move away into safer and safer areas, isolating themselves to try to escape the degeneracy, the laws that are not being enforced, because rich people never have to deal with these problems. They're in gated communities with a heavy police force, armed people at the front of the gates, right? They have 24/7 security. They live in the wonderland that we used to have for everybody. So for them, none of this shit matters. For them, this is a game. They just look down and laugh while everybody's in the streets protesting. George Floyd losing her life, leaving her kids behind because she wants to go play a hero for crackheads, for fraudsters, and unreal.
So this is what's coming. I just need you to prepare yourself for headlines and for video of this kind of thing, because it is going to be terrifying. I think we don't have any other choice at this point, though. I don't know what other way there is. So wrap your head around it now. Make your peace with it now. Make your plans. Talk things out with your family that you live with. What do you do if they come to your door? What's the plan? Figure shit out, because I'm telling you, that's what's coming.
This is it, guys. This is the tipping point. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I'm going to tell you how to prepare for the impending civil and world war. And I know that sounds scary, and I'm not trying to fearmonger here, but please.
I love how it's like women trying to talk about war and enforcing the law, two things they literally cannot do for themselves and need men to do it. Yes, dude, let's listen to, here's how you prepare for war. As a woman, let me tell you how to suck off half the soldiers for survival. Shut the fuck up. Honestly, don't care to hear this shit. You can't carry a 200-pound man. You can't be on the front lines. You can't be operating shit in a war zone. You'll be taken as a sex slave. You're not as effective. The Department of Defense already tried. They spent tens of millions of dollars figuring out if women could be used for or as soldiers. You can't. You're not as effective as the men. You're not built for this shit. Go watch children. Go do nursing. Go daycares, nannying, shit like that. Do what you're strong at. Listening to women talking about, here's how you prepare for war, and this is how you do this, how you shoot, and grab your tourniquet here. Oh, and when you're injured, this is how you grab your fellow man and take him. Bro, when the bullets start whizzing by, please, the ponytails come up and the aprons are put on immediately. This shit is a joke.
Please stay with me. Today, J.D. Vance went on record.
2024 election was manipulated. That vote was rigged. Okay? Elon Musk said it. Donald Trump said it. Voting is not going to matter anymore. Okay? These content creators that are lying to you and telling you just to vote in the midterms, stop listening to them. All they're doing is giving you anxiety and stressing you the out and leading you down the naive path. All right? What you're going to do instead, right now, is go buy 4, go buy 10. I don't give a learn how to some shit in your backyard. If it is safe to do so, go to the gun range, go get training. I'm sure there are liberal and democratic influencers or people around you that will train you on how to use a firearm.
All of a sudden, the liberals are pro 2A, huh? All of a sudden. Hey, the government is not, transing kids like we want. We need guns now. Wow, that's wild.
Okay.
This is what it's going to take. It's literally going to be a group of people using their First Amendment right, pushing back at an army, a firecracker, a rogue person, a trigger-happy agent's ultimately going to set off the storm, and you need to be prepared. Again, food, water, ways to cook things, non-perishable items, ways to defend yourself.
I have a feeling this will be just like COVID. Only blue states will be dealing with this kind of open insurrection and maybe some civil unrest. There's not going to be no civil war over illegal Somali migrants and ICE deporting criminals. Red states are going to function like every other day. Normal sunny day outside, people coming out of their houses. Life's great. We're going to work. We got shit to do. In blue states is where this might happen, or some form of unrest. But a lot of these libbies won't do shit. They have obviously radicalized sections of the ideology that they have these little factions that will try to do something. But you got to think that's a percent of a percent of a percent. There's a small amount of people. If we had a government, a federal government that actually wanted to enforce federal law, you would swarm these places with tens of thousands of federal agents and absolutely crack down on any of this retarded notion that you can stand up and impede the federal government because you want to protect light bulb heads. Out of fucking control.
If you're not into pew-pews, maybe get some of that sweet spray that they like to blast at everybody. It's available online. It's just, I do want to point out that this is a situation that could stop everything. Everything. Gas station, grocery stores, everything you need to get through daily life. You might have a bunch of people that are unwilling to go to work or afraid to go to work. And you're going to have a lot of people that are not going to go to work because they're not going to take this shit anymore.
Imagine being like a Ukrainian with like on and off electricity, spotty internet, Oreshniks, like missiles landing in your town and shit in your city. You know, you can hear gunfire in the distance, explosions, tank battles and shit, kamikaze drones just blowing up soldiers. You see it all the time. Half your friends are dead. Real war, real conflict going on in your country with a huge hostile power currently advancing on your borders, millions dead. And then you get these fat Americans that are sitting in their air-conditioned cars and these Karens and Kens talking about, you're going to have to go learn how to shoot. If you go to a gun range, if you don't like guns because they're icky and ew, maybe you can just get some pepper spray. These are the people that are going to lead the resistance. Oh, my Lord. Can you imagine? Imagine being a Ukrainian, dude. Imagine you're just fresh off the battlefield. You're missing a leg. Trench warfare with kamikaze drones and shit. Battle lines are not advancing. It's just absolute Zerg rush after Zerg rush from the Russians. Bodies are stacking. Attrition warfare. Brutality. And then you got this fat pudgy is like, hey, you ain't got a gun range? And like, you got to be ready because the Gestapo's in the streets. And like, we got to protect criminals. These people are retarded.
The upside to that is that same infrastructure that we rely on, this little army also relies on.
Oh my God, he's threatening to blow up buildings and infrastructure. What are you going to do? You're going to take out power grids and railways? Isn't that like an arrestable offense?
Air traffic controllers, rental car companies, all of these things that they need to exist, wow. They also use. They're not just crippling us, we're crippling them. I
wish we were just even a tenth of what they said this whole, Trump administration is. Just a tenth. If they really were authoritarian, if they really were Nazi-like, if they really were just a tenth of the shit that they're projecting onto the right, this would have gotten crushed long ago. We wouldn't be hearing about this stupid shit. These people would be in jail for inciting violence on the internet. Other people in the streets protesting would be absolutely curb stomped with their teeth missing, and we would have law and order in the land, and all this stupidity would get absolutely fixed. But we don't. People at the top benefit from a broken system. So morons like this being galvanized, and those on the right being inflamed. Also, everybody's experiencing a form of like apathy because nothing is working, nothing is functioning. You're not getting what you voted for. And yeah, at the end of the day, it's these kinds of people, the normal everyday Americans in general, on whatever political spectrum you are, that are left to deal with the brunt of the damage of the failing machine, the weakening of the empire. Yeah, it is what it is. This is why I said in the other episode, guys, the only power you really have at the end of the day, the biggest force projection in your life, the biggest, difference maker is your own two hands. It's your decisions you make every single day. I'm telling you, yes, you can have you could have all sorts of fatigue for the government, for whatever races and ethnicities and the fraud and the I don't care what you did, J fatigue, this fatigue, that fatigue, banana and rice fatigue. You could have all sorts of fatigue. It doesn't matter. You could be tired of a lot of shit. At the end of the day, with all that going on, the thing that will have the biggest impact, the most immediate change in your life is everything that you do every single day, your habits, your decisions. Even if the system it's true, the system sucks and you have to work much harder than your grandfather. You have to be much more educated, much smarter, much more plugged in order to get a tenth of what he did. It is harder. No one's denying that. I'm not denying that. You got to work your ass to escape the so-called matrix. At the same time, though, it doesn't help if you don't do anything for yourself. We're not women. We can't open our legs and be absolved of all our decisions, and zero accountability, no consequences for our actions. As men, we can't do that shit. A woman can around, go to school, rack up debt, get a shitty job, do nothing, just open her legs, get bailed out by a guy. No one's coming to save you as a man. So if you understand it on a deep level, then you got to get your ass moving and make it happen. I'm not saying pull yourself up by your bootstraps, but yeah, you have no straps, no boots anyways. You're barefoot in this economy. So you better get some calluses on those legs, on those feet, so you could start walking in this shithole. That's what I'm saying. Build the calluses so that you could survive whatever's coming. The decline is going to happen whether Republicans or Democrats are in power. That shit doesn't matter. It's a charade. It's a show. They're all bought and paid for by the donor class. So what I'm saying is toughen up your feet, because it ain't going to get easier, and no one's going to hand you shit to make it easier for you. That's all I'm saying. There's power in believing you have the power to change your life. Now, if you got caught in like the doomer black pill mentality of like, it's over, it's all over, there's nothing we could do, enjoy the decline. Well, yeah, go get good job. You're a good little puss. Bend over and take it from the world and everything and everyone. Good job. You got soy slopped straight into the position that they wanted you to. Zero resistance. So anyways, that's my take on it. That's why I say some of this stuff. As usual, boys, we'll see you on the next one. Avoid the crazies. Tribe up, train, get your body right, get your mind right, and build a good network of people you trust. You may need it.